Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to what I think is episode 5 of the Blue Balls podcast. Episode 5. Welcome back to another video. Let us know all your thoughts down in the comment section. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe on your way in if you guys haven't done so already. And yeah, the winning run's over. I thought we wouldn't be saying that for at least another week or two, but typical Chelsea, as soon as you get into a period where you feel like you can have a bit of hope and optimism, just takes it right out of you. But we're going to delve into everything that's been going on over the last week. No football this weekend, which I'm low-key grateful for. I think we need the mental break after the last 3 months. It's been a massive roller coaster since the World Cup. And yeah, we're going to get into everything. But big up everybody, like, subscribe. Fata, what are you saying, my guy? How's your weekend been, bro? You all good?
It's been productive week, apart from the weekend, of course, and it's a sad way to end what has been a great honeymoon up until the Champions League draw, and then we drop points the day after that. So we're gonna dive into it, therefore.
Definitely. Harry, big up yourself, my guy. Hope you're all good. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, no, it's just like what just said, just trying to get over the just hating that we've managed to drop points. We were so close to maybe having a glimmer of, obviously top four is a bit of a mad one to even think about, but game in hand over Tottenham. You know, they're not the best at the moment. It would have been good to try and close the gap, but in typical Chelsea fashion, we've it's long, but I'm glad that we got a week off.
Just fucked it. Kev, what are you saying, my guy? What are you saying?
Same old, really. Different day, same shit kind of thing. Just as we was starting to build a bit of momentum, starting to see some positivity, you know, we knew how important this Everton game was to get these 3 points, so that before the international break, we come out of it with that mindset that we've just won four on the bounce. And typically we can't last. It's just so many times that we've. It's just I just know I just knew. I was watching the game. I was thinking Everton are going to score. It just gets to that moment where we just got to hold on for the 3 points and we give it away. And it's heartbreaking, man. Like my whole Sunday, my whole Saturday and Sundays fucking always gets ruined just because these stupid managerial decisions once again cost us the 3 points. But we all know we all expect it now, we all know Potter's well out of his depth, but we have to just ride the storm. That's all we can do.
Yeah, I'm with you with that. Potter's the main reason for me why we lost that. Well, it feels like a loss, but why we drew that game. I'm going to stick with you, though, because I want to try and look at least one of the positive aspects of it. And I know it's a draw to Everton. We really shouldn't have dropped those points. But the thing that stood out to me was everything before what Potter did with the game management after we went 1-0 up was working. I thought we were solid defensively. We were good in midfield. Yeah, like we weren't really finishing our chances, but like we know what our attack's like. And even in spite of that, it felt like a goal was coming. Does it feel like our team's starting to take shape a little bit more now? Or do you think that's just the manner of the opposition that we were playing and Everton were going to let us get into that position?
I don't think there's the formation speaks for itself. We know Ben Chilwell, Reece James out on the flanks with a five at the back. It works. It's worked for how many years? So I think it's not a sense of tactical genius from Potter. It's not a sense of that at all. I just think the players are used to playing in that position, and it's just a matter of keeping them fit. I think obviously with his game management, is he making the right choices? For me, it's all about momentum. If you just won a tricky kind of game against Leicester, why not keep the same team? Why not keep Mudryk played a decent game? Why not keep him and start him again? Why do we have to change and bring Pulisic in before international break? Why start Pulisic?
That was confusing. But to be fair, it wasn't even bad.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, not to even bring Mudryk on at all after he's just had a game against Leicester, a decent game. it's baffles me. I just don't know what's going on. I don't know what his planning is. I don't know what his preparation is at all. I don't know. It's just confusing. And Pulisic, he had a decent game. I'm not slandering him at all. He had a pretty decent game, but I would have started Mudryk, give him full 90 minutes. He needs confidence, doesn't he? And I'm sure his confidence has been knocked because he's not played 1 minute of that game. I bet he's thinking, what the fuck do I need to do to get 90 minutes, kind of thing.
I do wonder what the likes of Mudryk and Madueke are thinking, but I try and tell myself on their perspective that they are more long-term projects. Like, they're young, they're around the age of, I think 20, 21, 22, something 21, like that.
Yeah.
Mudryk as well, especially, is basically going through a preseason because his first game in months was that game against Liverpool, and then we're slowly bringing him in with 45-minute run-outs, then 75-minute run-outs. So I could get it might be a bit of a sharpness thing with him. Madueke, though, it's a bit confusing, but to me, it was not even about them starting. It's the game management in itself. Everton are sitting back. They come in literally from the start. They were only trying to get the draw. And as soon as we go 1-0 up, it's like they're going to now start attacking us and they're going to leave us space in behind. Why are we not going from that and then trying to bring in more attacking players to try and make the most out of it, like a Mudryk, like a Madueke? Instead, we go straight to Conor Gallagher, try and sit back and hold it. And I don't get it because Leeds, I understood. We've had no win in 6-7 games or something like that. We haven't even scored in that run. I get that, if you're 1-0 up, hold it for what it's worth. We got no confidence, no faith. We just need to take it. After 3 games, though, it doesn't make sense. Harry, I know we're all fuming about it, but from your perspective, what's your thoughts on the game management and how impactful did you think it was on the result?
I mean, it took away all the hard work, really, because, like you say, we've been trying to build up. And I can't remember what someone just said, but about Everton, maybe. But it was revolving around we've had these easier games, kind of on paper.
Winnable run.
Yeah, but it seems like the players have started to mold. They've molded to this formation quite well suddenly, and I'm just worrying if Potter's the one that's going to be left behind a little bit, because the players are starting to find their way, but then Potter's kind of counteracting everything that he's kind of trying to get the team to do with his decision making, and all for, you could argue that none of those substitutions needed to happen, really. João Félix coming off,
only Fofana.
I know Fofana coming off.
Fofana had an injury apparently.
Yeah.
Around the ice pack.
Yeah, that one made sense. But the João Félix one was, I know, with 4 minutes to go, that was it just seemed so strange even then. Mm-hmm. All quite negative, and the overwhelming sort of consensus from all the fans and even people of other teams is that it just screams fear from Potter, that it was we've got to shut up shop now. And I think it kind of took away the sort of confidence out of the team and put confidence in Everton in a way, because it's oh look, Potter's making it incredibly defensive now. He obviously he doesn't want to risk losing this game now, or even drawing. And I think they just took the opportunity. You got Ellis Sims, who's obviously a young kid, comes on, takes the opportunity really, really well. Kepa should do better. But again, I think Koulibaly, people are arguing it's because he was on a booking. I don't know. I think he should be doing better there, to be honest, with his experience.
Still should be doing better in both of those.
I was fuming at that. But yeah, I think ultimately it is the decision making of the manager that's caused the issues, because we were fine up until that point. It wasn't a good game, to be honest. It wasn't an overly entertaining game. But
Sean Dyche will do that.
Yeah, and you give him his teams any opportunities, and like we saw, they just took it. And what could have been an easy win for us, it was never going to be. In hindsight, now we're always going to find the way to fuck it up. But it's so. I said after the game that it was as bad as any of our recent losses. It was as demoralising as any of our recent losses because of how we threw it away.
Because we finally had something to be confident about too. Like, when are we going into a game with back-to-back wins?
I know. It's just demoralizing. It's so dejected. I just felt dejected after the game. It was just, those ones where obviously when you lose, you feel like shit for the rest of the weekend. This one had the exact same effect for some reason. It just hit that same way. But yeah, I do blame Potter, to be honest with you, and obviously Kepa and Koulibaly respectively. But yeah, just threw it away.
I see the thing with the individuals, and I don't think they should be exempt of criticism. The only annoying thing is, it's like, if we made the right decisions, and let's say those two instances still happen, we're probably still like at least 3-2 up, 4-2 up. At least we're saying, okay, there were problems, but we left with the 3 points. You're not going to complain too much on that front. It's because of how much it set us back, because now we've got defensively minded players. I think at one point Havertz was our only forward, and it was just midfielders and centre backs.
Would you have brought Kante on? Would you have brought Kante on just more because if he came on, that would have been more or less a morale boost, if anything, because the bridge would have been going absolutely mental for him coming back. The atmosphere would have risen. Bringing on Chukwuemeka or even Kovacic off for Loftus-Cheek, it just I just couldn't understand it. Like.
My only thing is, I'm not
coming
sure
on. Mudryk coming on, he would have got a round of applause as well, because we'll be behind him. But Kante coming on would have made so much more sense than any of the other players, really, apart from obviously Chalobah.
What do you think about his sharpness?
Just depends on Kante's fitness, mate. That's what we do not want to rush Kante back. What if Kante is even 80%? Don't even bring him on. I'm saying we've got to bring Kante back when he's 99% fit.
Yeah,
the minimum, because we know how important he's going to be against these Real Madrid. He can practically win us these Real Madrid games just through his work rate, his attitude to win the ball back. He's so important for us. If he comes on now for the last 15 and picks up a hamstring injury, we're going to be gutted.
It was only for 9, not to be pedantic, but you know what I mean. As a 9, I think 9 minutes would have been okay, but. I don't know. It's that risk. You don't want another Reece James situation, hey? But with the games
it's
we've got coming
up, it's a tough situation, isn't it? Like he's got to balance it.
It's all hindsight anyway now, but I mean, like, and all of them were the English subs as well, which I didn't realize at the time. It's Loftus-Cheek, Chukwuemeka, Gallagher, and Chalobah. Then Mudryk, Kante, and Madueke left off. I just
literally the only two forwards. It's just so stupid. I don't get I get doing that if it's a team better than us. I get doing it if the team's under no confidence. But we've won 3-3, and it's Everton. It's Everton. They don't prioritize attack; they prioritize defense. So if their defense is left more exposed, we should be capitalized. We were capitalizing on it anyway. We just weren't finishing, and it just gives me even less faith in Potter going forward, because the tougher games are coming up now. I can't trust him to make the right decisions. Against Everton, he's sitting there trying to sit back. He'll probably try and play explosive football in the next against the next big team. So I don't know. I can't predict this guy, but it just gives me a lot less faith in him. But Fata, what's your thoughts been, bro? Because we haven't heard from you yet.
Yeah, for me, what annoys me a lot in that game, I feel like when we went to, was it a 1-0 up, and then the 60th minute, we kind of sit back and relax, and then somehow he brought on, was it Gallagher he came on first? But double check on that as well, on the 60th minute. But then look what happened when we had the defensive lapses in that second half. We conceded that goal. But after that, it was just the game management again. He was poor. At the end of the day, I feel like the amount of shots that we've conceded, they had 10 shots total in the last 10 minutes of that game alone, and I think we've ranked 17 in terms of how much we concede. So many shots in that second half. I think we ranked 17. It's pretty horrid, actually. And
conceded 17 shots.
No, we've ranked 17th in terms of conceding shots against the opposition in the last 10 minutes.
In the last 10 minutes? Oh my god. Well, we've never been good for holding leads anyway. Why am I shocked?
It's like, I feel like people getting carried away with a small sample size of wins without Thiago Silva having the fact that the idea that he's not the first choice is kind of crazy.
Well, I think this game also, we already know it at this point, but for any of the idiots who are saying Thiago Silva's the problem, this game just completely proved otherwise. Because this is what I mean when I say he's moonwalking right back into the team, because I really want to give Koulibaly time. And I want to say like he needs to adapt and everything. But I look at like he's the veteran, but it's Fofana and Badia Shield, the young centre backs, the 21-year-old, the 20. I think they're both. I don't know. They're young anyway, but they look like the experienced veterans. Badia Shield, who's literally only come in a couple months ago, looks like he's been in the Premier League for about 4 years. And I'm looking at that and thinking, I can't excuse and say wait for this guy. Because Chalobah's been better than him this season. He's been much better. And he doesn't get given the same amount of opportunities. He's barely started since we've come back from the World Cup. And I don't get it, because to me, he was almost consistent centre-back before that point. He was more consistent than Silva was. And that's nothing against Silva, but it's showing the levels that he was playing at. I don't get it, but does anyone see any... Like, I won't say way back for Koulibaly because I do think he'll get more opportunities. But to me, I just lost a lot of faith in him after that game.
I think it's the same for everyone, really. Those 2 games beforehand, being a part of that team, and people were surprised, especially with his performance against Dortmund rather than Leeds. Leeds was still not even that. But Dortmund was the standout performance, more or less. And then... Yeah, I feel like it was all his hard work for nothing in the end, because people are just going to instantly have that dread of whenever he's playing, which I don't know if there's many players that we have. I was thinking about the other day about Kepa. I don't really dread. I mean, it's getting to that point again now, but I never really dread goalkeeping errors anymore. Until obviously recently, and I think that's the one position at the moment is when Thiago Silva is out. Is if Koulibaly is in centre back or in defence, I don't know. I just get a little bit nervous whenever he's playing. So yeah, no, I think it was a detrimental performance to how Chelsea fans view him and their confidence they have in him. Really,
I'm not certain actually, because I feel like the long-term plan is for the Badiashile and Fofana need to, under guidance likes of Thiago Silva at the back, the experienced head. And there were also reports that apparently Levi Cole were going to come back in next season if the start happen. And also, it's that with Badiashile as well, I think he's still that young. I think he still have a lot of room to improve. But at the end of the day, Koulibaly is not going to be the ones that fixing this mess, in my opinion.
I don't think Koulibaly is going to be the guy for us anyway, but he's already basically our 5th choice in my eyes. I think for Potter, he's more 4th. So when Silva comes back, I think it'll be Koulibaly. That's the one that drops back to the bench. But I'll feel a lot more confident in our defense by then. I know Koulibaly's had a nice couple of games, but some players just have errors in their game consistently. Like David Luiz, for example, unbelievable technical defender, but he had errors for days. And he always would get caught out, or he'd make a silly decision or something. Sometimes players just have that in them. The problem is, it's just the further back you go, the less mistakes you can make. Like I always say, that going forward, you can miss all the shots you want. Like you're not going to concede because of it, but you'll get other opportunities. In defense, 6 times out of 10, if you make a big mistake, it's probably going to lead to a goal.
Papering over the cracks, man.
Yeah, and then and then you look in goal, you make a mistake in goal 9 times out of 10. That's gonna be a goal. You can't make mistakes to the goalkeeper. You have to be flawless, and this is why, like Kepa, he's having a great season, even though we're 10th and everything. Like he's having a good season by his standards. He can't be our number 1 if we want to be talking about being title contenders. He can't. There's too many errors in his game. He has lapses of concentration. He's still not good at catching corners. His wrists still get exposed because, like the second Everton goal, for example. Kev, I'm going to go to you on this one. Kepa, would you keep as a number 2 at the very least? Or what are you thinking with him? Because it has been a good season, but you see these mistakes happen in certain games, like the Fulham game, the City game, now this game. What are your thoughts?
He's made mistakes for the longest. He's made mistakes since he's come. I don't think he's ever reached level since he's come. This season. He's made brilliant saves against Villa away. Wow, I think he's probably made the save of the season there. Three great saves in one game. So he's capable of pulling off brilliant saves, but at the same time, like you said, on corner kicks, you just don't feel comfortable with him coming out. And, remember we had like a Petr check. Every corner that would come in, you just knew he was going to come and command and come and catch it. With Kappa, you never hardly see it, don't you? You never hardly see him come out and make the right decision. And every single game, he's got a mistake in him. And that second goal, he should have had a harder fist to that. He could have got down to that and made a save, and he's let us down again. Personally, I think we should go for another keeper. There's a Porto keeper that I like, Diogo Costa, Portuguese number 1 at the moment. He looks good. He's good with his feet, commanding. Yeah. Tall guy as well. We just need someone who's more commanding. I think Kepa, he gives it all that, but the mistakes he makes on a regular basis cost us so much. And I think from when he had that incident with Sarri 3 seasons ago, that should have been his last season then. And we've still kept him. And as he improves, no, he hasn't. He's still the same. He's for a £75 million keeper. Wow, just get him gone. Thank you very much and get him gone. And let's try and bring in a world-class keeper that can support our defence.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Anyone else have any other goalkeepers that they're considering, or if you're looking at a number 1, would Diogo Costa be the one for you?
I'll go for David Raya from Brentford.
It's a good shout. I think he's got the most saves in the league this season.
I know that Leeds keeper as well. He looks
that was going to be my one, yeah. He reminds me of Kepa so much, just in the way his movement and everything. But he's obviously a lot taller. He's what Kepa could be if he was just that tall. I think that's the only thing. His issue's always been his wingspan, reaching those long shots. But yeah.
Apparently, he's still not commanding though. Like in terms of coming to collect crosses and stuff. Apparently, I haven't watched enough of Melia. It's just off research I found. That's why I wasn't really too keen on him. I was like, he's taller, but
that might come with experience because he's only 23, isn't he? So
yeah, he's a young lad.
Yeah, maybe confidence is an issue. I don't know, which is obviously something we don't need any. We don't need any more of that. Is a lack of
regardless
in the
of taking
team,
a
but still, I think he could be a good shout. To be fair.
Yeah, onto one of the more positives notes from the game. Enzo Fernandez, another unbelievable performance from him. Continues to shine in that midfield. I think he got the pre-assist for João Félix's first goal. Fata, thoughts on Enzo Fernandez and how far can this guy go if we surround him with the correct midfielders?
Oh, he's been class as of late, last 2 months, and he's been carrying the team. The workload of the team, man, a lot of times. And I just think that if we're going to keep him for the next year or so, he needs a partner alongside him. I mean, a proper DM that can get the best out of him. And if we can somehow pull out the transfer market, get a proper DM like Lavia, Kudia Kone that can play alongside him, man, he's going to be the ones to watch in the next few years. But I'm excited to see the prospect of this talent. Hottest property in the world right now, man.
With you on that. For you, Harry, I was going to ask, on midfielders, because I know we've been linked with a string of them already this season. Declan Rice is coming around again with us apparently having interest in him. Quadio Kone, I think Vivel's having strong talks with him. That's what we've heard from sources. Lavia, that's another name that we've heard. Bellingham, string of different names. What's his name? Shobozai as well, potentially. If you had to make the decision yourself, what midfielders would you want to go with to surround Enzo?
I think at this point, if Rice comes, there's such pressure on him to actually do well because we've been linked with him for so long that I don't know. I think, has that ship sailed? Do you think? I don't know, because like it's been, how many years has it been now since we've been linked with him?
3
Obviously,
years.
obviously he's very good, but there's always that dread with incoming signings. Like people are worried about Nkunku as well, if he's going to actually do well, because of obviously coming from the Bundesliga. I don't. I really don't know. I really don't know. It's not a position I've worked to studied too much. But obviously, the only one I really have listened to too much is the Rice, because that's all we have to listen to most of the time. But even then, it's just not a place where I'm confident that we can necessarily find someone that's gonna bounce off in that pivot with or work with Fernandez that well, because they've got a lot of competition as well in that sense. But to match his ability, it's gonna take a lot, really.
For me, I think Rice, if we could get him for under 70 million, I wouldn't have any issues with it. Especially with like now he's got a year left on his contract. I think we'd be able to do something like that. But if it's any more, there are other options out there. I can't lie, I'm really keen on Kone. I think if we get him, that's an unbelievable addition for us for the next 5-6 years. He's already, I think, got the highest dribbles per 90 in the Bundesliga. Defensive stats look good. His final ball, I think, will continue to improve. But as an 8, he looks so good already for his age. Me personally, if we can get him, if we can maybe pull Lavia from Southampton, then we've got a brazy midfield for the next 5, 6, 7 years. And as soon as we sort the midfield, we will be fine, because you need a solid midfield as a base to work off anything. If you don't have a good midfield, you could have the best attack, the best defense in the world. You're still going to get cooked because there's no one in the middle controlling it. That's why when we had Jorginho and Kante cooking in 2021, we were dominating the likes of Real Madrid, likes of Man City, because you had a midfield that was cohesive and good enough. So I look forward to that in the summer. We'll have to see. Kev, did you have anything you want to say on the midfielders? Fata, either of you?
I'll just say Declan Rice. That's all I got to say. There's a few other names there. Lavia. There's also that guy from Brighton. What's his name? The Colombian
McAllister,
Caicedo. Caicedo, yeah. I think with those players, I think they're more box to box than holding. I think they want to get involved a bit further up and down. We just need someone who just wants to sit and just break up play, like a bit of a carrot kind of player. You're just happy breaking up play and laying off. We haven't had that since Matic. We haven't had a holding midfielder who sits there since Matic. And I think Declan Rice is a similar kind of mould. He's Chelsea. He's a Chelsea boy. He knows all the lads. He knows the academy. Future England captain. Over £70 million. I'd pay up to £100 million for Declan Rice, just because I know he's going to be a lead. He's going to be a future captain for us. And he's just going to sit there. He's just going to sit, break it up, lay the ball off, and that's what we need. If it's going to go second choice, I go for that Moses Caicedo, because he's energy-wise, he's like a Kante. He can get up and down. But is he going to hold and sit there? I don't think he is. I think he wants to be up and down a bit more.
I had other names as well, the likes of Ugarte from Sporting Lisbon and Zubimendi from Sociedad. I think Ugarte for me, when I saw the other day against, I saw him the other day against Arsenal. Boy, he was literally just bossing that midfield, even though he got a red card. But man, he's a beast, though. He's a beast as well. But we'll see in it if Ruben Amorim can let him go for a cheap price, but I really doubt it.
We'll see. I'm not too sure. Zubimendi, I think, might be going to Barcelona from what I've been hearing. But I think that would be it's like a taller, more physical Jorginho. That's what I've heard. So yeah, that would be great if we could have that. Because then we'd have a 6 and we'd allow Enzo to
Surely Caicedo would be the least likely one to join as well, because isn't he just signed a new deal to 2027? And being that it's Brighton as well, they're going to fleece us for even more money than they did for Cucurella.
Maybe, but I'd be surprised he's put his long-term future there. part of me feels like it's like he's signed just so Brighton can get like maximum profit for him. But if you test him, there'll be a price on his head.
Will get not shafted in the negative sense, because he'll be a good signing, but it'll be the typical Chelsea tax that we have to pay for.
Yeah, like 100 million,
especially coming from Brighton again. Jesus, getting sick of him.
Yeah. One player that could potentially be, I was going to say coming in, but he's staying, is João Félix. We're hearing from Matteo Moretto that Chelsea are working to sign Felix permanently. A final agreement on the transfer price hasn't been reached. There's indications that all parties are moving towards this decision. The Chelsea owner is interested in developing his team around talented young players like Felix. The player is happy with his current situation in London. Negotiations will continue in April, and a final decision is expected in May. And we're hearing a number of around 80 to 90 million for João Félix. Now, it does sound positive. Like, the player wants to stay. I think Atletico Madrid are willing to sell. Chelsea want to buy him. Everything's going in the right direction. I think it's just going to be the amount. But for me, I won't lie, 80 to 90 million, I'm fine with that personally. I think he's worth. I'd say maybe he's worth about 70, but obviously they're going to add a little bit of profit on their end. I think for what he's already done, well, I guess his finishing has been not crap, but frustrating, because he's like millimeters away from being our top goal scorer. But you see his ability on the ball and the improvement on the team. Sorry, Kev, go on.
Personally, sorry to interrupt. Personally, I think it's too early for us to be considering buying him right now. I think we've still got, third left of the season left. He's got to prove himself. We shouldn't really be negotiating anything yet. He's come in. He's got that red card within his first game, and he's been out for a month. He's come back. Yes, he scored 2. Yes, he does look positive, but there's still a lot more for me that he can bring to the table. I think he's got to prove himself. Like I said last week with Kai Havertz as well. He's got to prove himself, mate. Everyone should be playing for their shirt. You know, he shouldn't be, he's played 3 good games, let's sign him up. He's got to prove himself consistently over 10 games to even get into my transfer kind of, but 70, 80 million pounds, that's probably a snatch for a player which only a couple of seasons ago left Benfica for 120. Maybe we can see some form what we've seen at Benfica, and he can get signed up. But right now, personally, I don't think, for me, he's done enough to be worth 90 million pounds. Nowhere near.
I don't think he's worth that amount, to be fair. I'd give you that. And I also get you saying as well that maybe it's too early to make the decision. But for me, I can see the ability of the player already. Like, it's just the creativity that I think I need to see a little bit more of. I think he's a bit lacking on that front. But in terms of his positioning, like all the off-the-ball attributes, I think he's got all of that, and that's fine. In terms of on the ball, I think he's very good in his take-ons. I think his decision-making is usually good in terms of 1v1s. And even in terms of finishing at times, he's just been very unlucky with the amount of times he hits the woodwork. Like, I think even his goal on Saturday hit the post and went in.
Just reminded me of Werner a lot, to be fair.
No, Werner's misses were way worse. Way worse.
It's just that fortune though. That's what I'm saying. Like I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't grow to have that Werner fortune of like, oh come on, just I feel so bad for the guy kind of thing.
Felix is on another level to Werner. Personally,
100%.
It just looks like he knows what he's doing in between that striker and midfield area, that attacking midfield area. He picks up the balls. His link-up play is good. He's got a good first touch. He's got good skill. But like I said, is he justified paying £90 million right now? Not yet. I think he's got to go on a consistent run until the end of the season and then look to buy him. Don't be negotiating now when he hasn't done anything yet. You know what I mean? We could sign him now, and then up until the end of the season, he could flop. And then we've got a player next season which has been a flop. So all this talk of it signing now, it's just, well...
But it does say a final decision will be expected in May. So it won't be anything immediate. It's just negotiations for now.
Yeah.
Do you think that would boost either do you think that would boost or reduce his efforts playing for Chelsea if he knew that we wanted to buy him anyway? Do you think he'll take his foot off the pedal, or do you think he'll try even harder to secure that move? Because if we're already saying that we're going to sign him regardless, unless he has an absolute stinker, I don't see why we wouldn't sign him anyway. If we've already said we're really interested in signing him, I'm just worried it would like these early talks and early rumors of he's going to see them and he's going to think, well, not that he comes across as one of those players that doesn't want to try. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just thinking mentality wise, what kind of effect would that have on him?
I don't know, because I feel like he already must know already that they want to get him on a permanent. Like I think that's why he already feels settled. He's already getting along with a lot of the players. That's why it seems like there's a universal agreement to try and get this deal across the line. So I don't know, because if it would impact his performance, I feel like it would have already done that from the start. But he's looked like one of our best players. Well, one of our best attackers in most games that he's been on the pitch for. I say most because we saw that crappy run at the Potter and everything. But yeah. I think his quality's shown enough that I want us to sign him. Do I think he's 80 to 90 million? No, I'd say more about 60, 70.
50, I'll say 50 below, in my opinion.
But there's no, I mean, we're going to have to pay that much though, eh? But a way to figure it, Tammy Abraham's buyback clause is around 80 million. So I've heard people debating whether or not they'd consider that. So I feel like if you pay 80 million for him, then surely you'd pay that much for
who's
João
debating
Félix.
80 mil for Tammy?
I've seen it on my timeline the last couple of days.
89 million, innit? He's buyback or something like that.
Yeah.
He's not even balling out in Syria, and they want what? Yeah. What in the Cobham sexuals is that? I'm good, but yeah, João Félix. Go on.
In Tammy, there is a player, but it's just, every time the ball comes to him in the box on the floor, it just looks like Bambi on ice. I think if he went on a finishing, like a one-on-one finishing course for like 2-3 months to improve his finishing, he would see a player there. His heart was in the club, but his finishing sometimes was unbelievable. And for us to put an 89 million pound buyback clause, we're basically robbing ourselves. Selling for 30 million and buying back for 89 million, like this makes no sense. I just don't see it. I just don't get why we do stupid things like this. Just let him go. If we don't want him, let him go.
I think it was just a way of us saying we'll only get him back if he's like a baller. Go there. You better be one of the best strikers in the world, or we're not coming back for you, bro.
Just leave him. He'll probably come. Knowing I look though, he'll probably come back to another team and start banging up. But it is what it is. What can we do?
It's a Chelsea.
He's a raw striker. He's one of those where it's like his link-up play is okay, his hold-up play is okay, but he needs better core strength. He's terrible in the air. He's always on the top of the big chances missed, or at least in the top 3 for like most seasons. There's too many holes in his game. Maybe a mid-table side, if he went back to Villa or something, he could do something. But nowhere near Chelsea quality. I don't think we'll even look at bringing him back. If we even look at it, I'd be very concerned. Yeah. But yeah, Felix potentially coming in. What are your thoughts about having Felix, Havertz, and Nkunku in the same team? Because I've seen this conversation come up a couple of times. How do you think we incorporate all 3 of them? Does one of them ride bench? Do we play all 3 of them in the same 11? Bata, what are you thinking?
I feel like with Felix, I just wish that he had a prolific number 9, an actual killer instinct up front. That can get the best out of him, in my opinion. But I think with Nkunku, I think it's tough, isn't it? Because I just don't know what kind of position he's going to play. Is he a left wing? Is he a right wing? Is he a cam? Is he a CF? Or is he a CM? Like, he's literally everywhere, Nkunku. And it's tough, isn't it? It's tough to incorporate those 3 in one gigantic squad. And I just really don't know where it's going to go to next season.
I think what's going to happen is we'll probably have Havertz on the bench and maybe Felix and Nkunku start. Because I think we're going to get a number 9.
I was going to say,
You
I
could
thought you were
maybe
going
have
to say
Felix
we'll start Havertz up front next season.
Oh, imagine we got another season of that. I'm good. But Felix will definitely start. I think Felix could potentially... No, he plays more off the left than the right. I'm not even too sure. But I think Nkunku, you probably try and play a bit more centrally. Maybe you'd have him as the number 9. I actually don't have...
If we get Tony or Osimhen, then he'll play Felix and Osimhen up front. Then Nkunku probably around like make a diamond formation like camp in a cam role, in my opinion. If Osimhen comes.
There's so many other players that are eligible to play in those positions that we'd have to factor in as well. Like
Armando Broja's coming back as well.
There's so many players. We've got too many players, but then there's too many good players as well on their day to kind of discredit and be like, well, obviously you'd start so and so over so and so, but then
Lukaku.
No. Even then, at the end of the day, like each player has their sort of strong points, their weaknesses, but I don't know. I feel like at this point, everyone's still kind of just getting past their sort of shitty stage where every player's kind of been stinking it up a little bit. But in terms of those three, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if you see Havertz come as a striker if we don't get anyone in. But then he hasn't been recently, has he? To be fair.
Nah, Felix has been further forward.
Where was Havertz playing in the last game?
Deeper. I think Havertz was like a centre forward and Felix was up top.
Yeah.
But in 3-4-3,
isn't it? Yeah.
It's kind of difficult because you would have Havertz and Nkunku, which are more number 10, and then left and right, then you have Mudryk, Sterling, Felix, and Madueke. Assuming that if we sell Pulisic.
And we still got Ziyech as well. And
there'll be a lot of outgoings in the summer.
I reckon Pulisic's up there with Ziyech as well, though, to go, though, at this point. I just don't see a place for him in the team.
We've just got way too many men in that attacking. He's playing this 3-4-3. You got your striker. We need a striker up there. We need Osimhen. We need we need a Tony. There's a big striker that can hold the ball. I think if you got your little man, you could probably have Mount. You could have Pulisic. You could have Ziyech. We've got too many men in them attacking. I think we need to get rid of at least 3. And I think Ziyech should be 1. Pulisic should be number 2. And I think Havertz now would be number 3. Well, mate looks like he's going as well. But we need to get rid of 3 because end of the day, Felix and what's his name, and Nkunku are gonna start, aren't they? They're gonna be your starters, and then everyone else after that are going to be on the bench. I don't think Mount's going to want to be on the bench. So we need to clear some deadwood at the team, and then it's going to be a lot better for us.
Yeah, I can't wait for the summer. It's going to be very, very busy here at Chelsea, and you guys already know the first place to be at. So like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, people. Kev, I wanted to stick with you because I know you wanted to speak about Aubameyang being at the El Clasico game yesterday. I wanted to get your thoughts on that because I said we're going to hold this discussion for the stream. So what were you saying, bro? What was your thoughts on the whole thing?
Absolutely pissed off, and he just think about what he's done. He's in the changing room with his whole team celebrating. When has he celebrated with us in the changing room? Like we won a couple of weeks ago. Where was he then?
When does he play for us?
When is he in the squad though? That's the thing.
I don't blame him really. Well, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good making it public, but
it's morally bad. It's just like what we get the piss taken up, like it's like a Lukaku moment that he's left the team, but he's gone back to celebrate. Like what the fuck? Like who are we at the moment? I don't
see the big deal with it, especially the fact that Aubameyang is basically being pushed out by the board. It's like, you know what? Just go do your thing. I feel bad for him. He was loved there. And then Barca had to sell him because of their shitty financial situation. He gets robbed literally on the way to the bridge. And now he's going back to the squad. I don't blame him. I've seen players do that before. Like, do you remember when Leicester beat Sevilla? Like in the Champions League all those years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Leicester beat Sevilla, and N'Golo Kante was in a fucking box at the King Power watching. And that was the season we won the league.
That's different, though. N'Golo Kante earned the right. He won them the fucking Premier League. He earned the right to be in that box.
Season.
Aubameyang ain't done nothing for us all season, and then he's going and sitting with his old teammates. It's degrading. For me to see that, I was like, wow, he's taking the piss out of us. It literally is. Don't do that.
If he was wearing a Barcelona shirt or something, I'd understand.
I just think
I remember Diego Costa did that. Like before, when he had the big issue of Conte, he was at a party or something wearing his old Atletico kits. That I would understand. That would be a bit of a disrespect. But
that's Classico
too. Like, I don't think it's that bad.
I just think, contrary to how the media paints us, and I feel like the way that he's been treated at Chelsea is about as disrespectful as it gets, and that's why you still see a lot of ex-players with likes of other teams like Barcelona still like he's in there, kind of like, you know, have a reunion in that, and I can't even blame him in that sense. And if you deep down, like, he's been left out of the Champions League squad, he hasn't been playing a lot in the league as of late, and he's literally like, he's kind of like in a vexed mood at the moment, and that's why he went off to, you know, just to see his old teammates play a Classico. I just don't get why these Chelsea fans kind of like going hard on him. Like,
I think it would have been way worse if he'd gone to Arsenal and gone in there.
Oh no, he would have never been able to.
That would have been bad. This one, I just don't. I don't see. Obviously, it's not looking. It's not a good look. But then, considering his situation, how he's played 18 games for Chelsea, 12 in the league, I've got no idea. I don't remember any of these games whatsoever. 12 appearances in the Premier League. Are you mad? I don't remember any of them.
3 touches he's had, literally like.
Yeah, that's on Mount and Havertz though, and I'll stand by that. Others are victim of our terrible creativity. Same way like Lukaku, even Werner to an extent struggled with it. But we're finally on the right path, and now Oba can't get any game time. That would be my biggest thing. If Oba was starting with the players that we have around him now, and he wasn't banging goals, then it would be like, all right, cool, yeah, you're the problem. You just washed. It's fine.
It's almost
Mountain Kai, like they aren't creative, barely. At least then they weren't. But go on.
It's almost disgusting how we Chelsea fans are ignoring Aubameyang's existence in the club. It's literally just killing his confidence, and he's a striker with the years of experience, and definitely doesn't deserve to be treated the way that Chelsea is treating him. And one day we will all have a sit down and talk about why Chelsea even bought him in the first place. Dropping him out of the Champions League squad was understandably so, but I still thought that he still get a lot of solid minutes into this team.
Same. I thought he'd at least have like
more than we knew he did.
Yeah, I'm surprised he even got to 10 league appearances. That's crazy.
Apparently he's on a pay deal. That's why we're not playing him, because if he plays, he gets X amount of money. So that's why he's been dropped.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's why he's not getting any minutes. But
that's mental. But you know what? Fair enough.
I just don't get why we even signed him. But the thought process that went into our transfer window in the summer, I don't know.
It was a two signing and everything, and we needed a striker. I got it. It was just. Yeah. What my biggest problem is, like, it just exposed that we can get a striker all we want. No one's gonna make anything for him, not consistently. That's why I've now got in the likes of João Félix. We got in the likes of Enzo. To be honest, Enzo's made such a positive impact on our creativity. Felix does need to improve on that regard, but that was just our biggest issue. I really think Oba would have had more goals if he had the likes of Enzo in the squad. But yeah, also I did see Barca are hoping to re-sign Aubameyang for free or on reduced wages in the summer. So they're going to try and come back for him on a free transfer. I don't really mind what happens to him.
Are they on an FFP watch, by the way? I thought they were in a financial situation.
Yeah, it's from Nazarkin seller, so I don't know how legit it is. But hey, if they go in for him, I want them to get him for free. They have to pay.
What do you think about the the Potter last week as well in that board meeting when he says, "Let's beat Everton and then let's go and win the effing Champions League." What do you think about that? Do you think that was a bit of a
Proper
PR stunt or?
cringe, innit? I don't know.
Oh.
I didn't take any sort of like, yeah, go on, Graham, like anything from that. It was
Oh,
just like,
my
fuck off.
I mean,
Embarrassing.
And then the wordplay as well, coming to bite us on the arse as well with the like it was
Oh,
what was
mate.
it? Play
You
Everton,
know that
get the
we're
draw,
gonna-
and then fucking win the Champions League. It's like, oh, shut
we're
up.
gonna get smacked. You know we're gonna get smacked at Real Madrid, yeah. And that meme, yeah. The fans, Arsenal fans, Tottenham fans, they're gonna create some meme, yeah. We're gonna win the Champions League, and he's gonna
It
be
was-
that
yeah.
meme for a few seasons, mate. He's just basically
It reminded me.
dropped
Who was
himself in some shit.
the guy at Arsenal Fan TV? Is it Heavy D?
Yeah, every day.
Heavy D? Heavy D,
Yeah.
he said, we're going to win the
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
Champions
yeah.
League. And then everyone's
Oh,
going like
yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that. It's exactly the same as that. I get Heavy D vibes from Graham Potter. From that whole situation.
Oh, man.
It's just cringe. We didn't
Yeah.
need that. And it was the wrong time to show any sort of passion like that in that kind of way, because it was more jokey than anything. He just keeps doing it, taking the piss and being like, oh, come out of crisis meeting, I've still got a job and all this, and it just seems like he's not taking his job seriously whatsoever. Because he knows he's going to bag it after,
his
innit?
job's fine.
Would you be bothered though, knowing that if you get sacked tomorrow, you got £63 million in the bank?
Exactly. That's why I think he doesn't care that much. People say like, oh, you've got to give him, feel sorry for him, all this. No, I don't feel sorry for him at all. It's a win-win situation for him. He either does well at Chelsea and gets his money anyway, or he gets sacked and he gets the money anyway. Like, it's really not a bad situation for him.
Yeah, on to the Real Madrid point, because I was going to wrap up with that one. We did the last episode just before the UCL draw, and we got the worst bracket imaginable. I was talking about just give me Benfica, Inter, and AC Milan, and I'll be confident that we could potentially get number 3. And Napoli got that one instead. How far do you think we can make it, guys? Kev, I'll start with you. Do you think we'll even make it through Madrid? Because I think we'll end it there. Quarterfinals. It's further than I thought. We'll take it. I'll be happy. Whatever.
Just imagine being Ancelotti right now. Just imagine being Ancelotti, thinking he's going to look across to the side and he's going to see a Graham Potter. Big Ancelotti has won in the German league. He's won in the Italian league. He's won in the Spanish league. He's won in the Premier League.
Saw Tuchel last time.
And he's looking across and he's got Graham Potter to the side of him. We're going to get eaten, mate. It's only going to be a miracle that's going to get us through. And, like I said earlier, Kante is going to be pivotal for us. Like, if we're going to win, Kante is going to have to be on smoke, like he was 2 seasons ago. But personally, if we did beat Real Madrid and we got to the round after, we're going to play City or Bayern. We've got no chance. And then in the final, we've got Napoli potentially. So we've got the hardest route possible. It's just not going to happen. Whoever thinks we're going to win the Champions League are clearly delusional and has got a bit too excited about those 3 wins 2 weeks ago. And they're not looking at the bigger picture. We're coming up against Real Madrid. Rodrigo, Benzema, Vinny. So this got it.
Yeah.
No, go on, Harry.
I do think. Take it with a pinch of salt, but Champions League, European football, Chelsea are always a different sort of breed, different animal altogether. But yeah, it is hard to really come into this with any sort of confidence, even if we do win all of our games leading up to that. And you think that includes the game against Liverpool, and I know they're not really that good at the moment. They're very hit and miss as well, but I don't know. It's we've gone from 5th favourites to 6th favourites. Somehow AC Milan are less likely to win the Champions League than us, even though are they playing Napoli? Is it?
Yeah.
And I think that's the only reason is because Napoli are more favourites to win it than Real Madrid. I think if we'd had a bit more luck in our in the draws and everything, and who we can, like, our run to the final, we'd stand a chance. But we literally have the hardest run, like we said. Like, it's virtually impossible for us to do it. But at the same time, I back us. I back us in the Champions League. I back us in Europe. For some reason, I feel like we're always up for it. I'd rather at the very least, we give it our all. The boys give it everything, kind of thing, and it's not an embarrassment, because I feel like there is potential for it to be a bit of an embarrassment. But at the same time, maybe just snatch it somehow. If we can lower the deficit, or whatever the score is going to be at the Bernabeu, then take it to the bridge, and then just hope Benzema's not on a mad one.
That's our only hope.
Yeah.
That is our only
It's not
hope.
just swinging headers from outside the box again.
Just literally go to the Bernabeu, sit back, try and get a draw, and then bring it to the bridge. That is literally the only way we can do it. You should go to the Bernabeu and just sit 11 man behind the ball, no spaces in between the lines, and just try and grind that a 0-0. Take it back to the bridge, get the atmosphere going like against Dortmund, and then you never know. Like, that's the only way. And then once you've got through Real Madrid, you've got to think Bayern or City, and City are an absolute smoke. Like, Haaland, just can't see it happening. I'd like it to be, in other years where we've had difficult teams, we've had a world class manager. So it's been like, you know what, tactically we can match them and we can win. But when you've got Potter sitting in a dugout, I just don't know. We could be 1-0 up against Real Madrid at home, and he'd probably fucking bring Chuck and Wen car on, and then we'd end up going 2-1 day. And that's it. You know what I mean? He's looking like, so what can we do?
Fanta, what's your
for me, it's all about that we get our squad back in together again, and we've got Thiago Silva on his way back. We've got Wesley Fofana as well, injured after the Everton game, and hopefully he'll be back by.
Will Silva be back?
Yeah, Silva will be back, I think.
Probably
right around in the Wolves
for the
game,
second leg, maybe. Because it was 6 weeks, wasn't it? Unless he's like a freak, then, if he can come back at his age that quick as well.
3 more weeks left.
That's the thing, and Kante on his way back as well. And I watched the game on Sunday. Even after the game against Everton, everyone thinks that Ancelotti licking their lips, and then on Sunday everyone changed their mind. Oh, even Paul now licking their lips against Real Madrid. But at the end of the day, I think it's all about who's got more pedigree to progress through in that quarterfinal stage. And on the paper, Real Madrid should be favourite, but you never discounted us out in the Champions League games, and you never know what kind of Chelsea to expect, because, like Harry said, we are a different breed. So we'll find out what our mentality are made of in these kind of nights.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Really look forward to it. It's going to be an exciting month. Let's hope it's not a depressing month, but it is the end of episode 5 of the Blue Balls podcast. Big up Fata, big up Harry, big up Kev. Like, subscribe, let us know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you guys want to follow, link is literally right here, just by our names. And yeah, big up everybody. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys very soon. And up the